Welcome to the Too Inquisitive podcast.
You're too inquisitive.
Wow, Bungie, come on. 2 weeks back to back? Late episodes? I know, guys, I'm sorry. I gotta do better. This time for sure. I mean, last time also wasn't exactly my fault, but this time for sure wasn't my fault. Let me just explain what happened. I did record with the guest. You'll notice that this episode doesn't have a guest. I did do a recording with a guest, and last minute, the guest then told me that they have to hear the recording first before I post it. I don't know if you guys know, but that is very time consuming. And the month of November for me is a very busy month in general. I honestly don't have time to be going back and forth with the recording to get it posted on a schedule, so I just decided to scrap it. I found a last minute guest really quick, and then a bunch of things happened that we couldn't even get to record. So yeah, some things happen, and that's why this episode is late. And I just decided to do this spontaneously because I was even thinking about not doing an episode. But even though this episode is late, and last week's was late also, I want to make the commitment to myself that I'm going to put out an episode every week. An episode has to come out. I'm definitely going to try my hardest to make sure it happens on Mondays because I said it was going to happen on Mondays. But, I mean, sometimes things are out of your control. With that being said, I have this topic that I want to talk about today. You guys can call this, I guess, a not so TED Talk, because I don't want to say it's an official TED Talk, because one day I do want to have a real TED Talk. So I don't want you guys to refer to this as my TED Talk. I want when I get my real TED Talk, you refer to that as my TED Talk. So I'm going to call this my not so TED Talk. And maybe I might turn it into a series. Who knows? The topic I want to talk about today is popularity versus talent. In the BVI, we have this saying, it's about who you know, or who for you. You only get this job because you know that person. You only get this job because of your last name. You only get this opportunity because this and that and the other. Now, we have this to be a problem. That's what people say. When people say it, they don't say it in a good way. They say, oh, he only get a job just because he know that person good. Like, they upset that they didn't get the job and that you got the job because you know that person. My thing is, why don't you know that person too? What is stopping you from knowing that person too? Then they have this idea that this only happens in the BVI. You are very much mistaken. I'll use the highest, probably the highest powered position person in the world. Let's look at the President of the United States. First of all, the people of the United States, they have to vote for him. So they have to know him. I mean, that's different because they don't know him on a personal level. But anyways, let's look at his staff, because when the president is elected, he has to handpick his staff, his team, for certain positions like chief of staff and head of defense and all that shit. I could be very much mistaken on which exact positions, but I know he has to pick some positions, right? Now, of course, he's going to make sure that these people are actually people that are qualified for such positions. You're not just going to put somebody there simply just because you know them. They have to at least know what they're doing. But do you think the people he appoints to those positions, that he doesn't even know them? That just because they have the qualifications, he'd be like, all right, this person is obviously the best person for the job. I'm going to put them there. No, of course not. He knows every single one of them personally. Every person he puts in that position, it's not necessarily just because they worked hard. I mean, of course, they probably did work very hard. It's not necessarily a handout. It's not that they don't deserve it. But you have to remember, you're picking one person. There are billions of people in this world. In the United States alone, there are 300 million. You're picking one person. You're going to pick someone that you know, someone that you like. So to the people that are upset that people get jobs or opportunities just because they know someone, first of all, let's get rid of that. It's just because they know someone. Yes, on Facebook, especially in the BVI, we like to support people who are popular that aren't necessarily offering the best product. There are probably other people who are offering the same product that is better, but they're not well known. They're not popular. But how am I supposed to know they're offering the product if I don't know you in the first place? How do I know if I don't know you exist? How am I supposed to know that you even offering a product? How am I supposed to know that your product is better? That's just to sum it all up. How am I supposed to know your product is better, your service is better, whatever you're offering? How am I supposed to even know about it if I don't know you? And I don't like when people say like popularity versus talent, because first of all, being popular is a talent within itself. Becoming popular is a talent within itself. Because you have to become popular for something, and then you have to be able to maintain the popularity. You have to be able to stay relevant for whatever you're popular for. If being popular was easy, everybody would be popular. It's not easy. It's not easy at all. It's very hard. You know how hard it is to build a loyal following? But my point is, right? Network. You have to network. People are going to give you a job. Like let's look at a job interview for an example. You remember you have to send in your application before you even get an opportunity for the interview, right? You're going to send in your application, your resume with all your qualifications and everything so that when whoever's hiring you, they read it out and they'll be like, okay, you are qualified for this position. It's a reason when they do that, they don't just call you and be like, all right, you're hired. No, they're going to pick a handful of them, obviously probably the most qualified out of the bunch, and they're going to want to meet you in person or maybe talk over the phone, something, but they're going to want to interact with you on a personal level. They're going to want to talk to you to see who you are because they want to know. Obviously, they know you're qualified, but they want to know, are they going to like you? Because that's what it comes down to. I don't just pick a product or service simply because it works or it gets the job done. I'm going to pick the one that I like the most. If I'm going to hire you to do something, I'm going to pick the person that I like the most that can get the job done, of course. We're not leaving. It's not that we're just going to pick some random person that doesn't have the qualifications or the experience to do the job. The job still has to be done. But are you going to be pleasant to work around? You understand? Listen, knowing people has so many advantages. Network. Put yourself out there. You can be like, there's so many people that I tell this to, they can be like, oh, well, Bunchi, I'm not a very social person. Well, then shut the fuck up and stop complaining. If you're not willing to do it, there's someone else that is very much willing and is doing it. I'm doing it for sure. I network as much as I can. Y'all go to the clubs and bars with your friends and sometimes leave by yourself. I go to the bar and clubs by myself and I leave with my phone number with like 20 more contacts that I didn't have. I network so much and it has brought me so many opportunities. Networking made me get to experience the birth of my daughter. Literally. When my daughter was born in March, that's just when it was literally a week before the lockdown. They hadn't announced that we had 2 cases yet. But the BVI kind of knew. They were like little rumors or whatever going around because, information is not... There's no secrecy here. Information gets leaked left, right, center, up, down, all over, 360. So I get to the hospital and they don't want to let me in. My daughter's mother's already in the hospital. She's already in her room or whatever. She's in labor, but it's not time for the baby to come yet, but like she's in labor. I get there, they don't want to let me in because I think at that time we did have the 2 cases, right? It wasn't announced, but the hospital was pretty much on lockdown, and only if you were sick and being admitted could you enter the hospital. I was, in my mind, I'm thinking, nah, this is the birth of my first child. I'm not missing this for the world. I'm going to be there. Because first of all, I don't trust people's either way. I'm sorry to say, but I don't trust people's. I have my reasons. I'll tell that's another story though. You know what I did? Took out my phone and I called the Minister for Health. Bunchy, how do you know the Minister for Health? Because I networked. I met him. I got his number. I left a good impression on him. He likes me. And you know what he did? I told him my situation. You know what he did? He said, all right, give him 20 minutes. You know what he did? He called the head of the hospital, told the head of the hospital to let me up. The head of the hospital now had to make the call, and then the chain of command comes down, and it comes down to the front desk, and the front desk has to let the security know, let that boy in. They brought down a nurse to escort me. I had to sanitize every single part of my body before we even got in the elevator. And then when I got out the elevator, I had to do it all over again. And then before we even got in the maternity ward, I had to do all that over again. And I wasn't allowed to leave because if I left, they said I wouldn't be able to out back in. So I had to stay. And I got to see the birth of my child. Why? Because I know the Minister of Health. And I know him well. And he knows me well. And he likes me. And I have his number. Because he likes me. And when he needs something on Anegada, he'll call me and I'll do it. I have almost every single government official's phone number in my phone right now. Even the ones for the district that doesn't have anything to do with the 9th. But I have their number. They all know me very well. And even the ones that I haven't met yet, they know of me. Because they talk about me. Because I left good impressions on the others. And when they're on Anegada, they don't leave without at least letting me know that they're here. They hail me up or they might shoot me a text or something. If I see them in person, they buy me drinks. They're good people. I consider them friends. I'm pretty sure they consider me friends too. Down to the premiere and all. And if I need something, I can skip calling the department or whoever, and I can call the head. And I can get it done. Within reason, of course. It's not like I can just call and be like, I need $10,000, and then boom, it happens. I wish. But the point is, put yourself out there. Network. I'm pretty sure you're wondering, well, I'm just saying it's easier said than done. No, it is actually very easy to network. Almost all of you, almost everyone in the world already does the things that you need to do to network. You just don't do the actual networking. 90% of all networking I've ever done has either been at a party or a bar. I know everybody, well, not everybody, but most people go to the clubs. You go to bars, you get a drink, you go to restaurants. Sit, mingle, and chat. Get to know people. But also know who you need to know. You have to know these people's faces also before you even meet them. For me, it is a goal to know everyone that I need to know. Even before I know that I need to know them. That's my goal. I'll be out somewhere talking to people without even knowing who they are, and then just ask them, well, bring up in conversation, well, what do you do? And then they're the head of this company or whatever. Perfect. I need to know who you are. Boom. I leave a good impression on them. I have their number on my phone later. Simple as that. You know where I met the deputy governor? And you know how that interaction came about? Shout out to Ocean Sevens. I think it's Peter Island. I think I don't remember which island, but I think Peter Island, Ocean Sevens. They do a all white party every year. They've done 2 so far. They do one every year. The first one was on Ocean Sevens 2 in Just Van Dyke. Second one was on the original Ocean Sevens Peter Island. I went to both. At the first one, I met so many people, but the second one is when I met the deputy governor. I met him on the boat ride over. He was watching a Lakers game. I don't remember who they were playing, but it was the Lakers, and he was I think he was on Team Lakers. He was like voting for LeBron. And I heard him, he was sitting across from me, and I just happened to overhear him talk about the game in frustration or whatever with his wife, saying that he couldn't get it to show live on his phone. He could only just get the live updates, the scores. And then I just put some faith into the world, and I asked him, well, who's playing? He said Lakers. I said, oh, trash. I don't like LeBron. I mean, that is somewhat true, but it's not like I hate LeBron. I just had to say that because I wanted to spark that conversation. And boom, we talked about basketball the whole way over. And then he saw that I had a camera because I was filming a vlog. He asked me about my camera. I told him I'm a photographer. He said, oh, I actually need some pictures. I said, boom, perfect. Boom, just like that. That's networking. We exchanged numbers on the boat. And then you know what happened? In the party, when the Lakers won, he literally left his wife and looked for me on the dance floor in the night to show me his phone and was bragging in my face. It was all good fun. And I can text him right now and we can have a conversation like whatever. The point is, you gotta network. I meet so many people at that all-white party. I went to the first one because my friend invited me to. And he offered to pay for everything. And I said, you know what? He's paying. Fuck it. I'll go. I wasn't necessarily interested. I knew what kind of party it would be. It wasn't what I would say is my cup of tea. It was a jazz party. I don't care about no jazz. But I went. And bro, I was so glad I went. I met so many people. And then the second year, we did it again. And now we've decided among ourselves that we're going to make it a routine. Every year, we're going to this party. If we don't do anything for the whole year together, this party we're definitely doing together. And you meet so many people. But it's not just about meeting the people too. Bring your best self. Have your best self at all times. Because you don't know who you're going to meet when you're going to meet them. And you want to leave a good impression. That is very important. Not only just put yourself out there, but put your best self out there. And leave a good impression. Leave a good impression on every single person you meet. Whether you think they're in a high position or not, or if you don't even think they matter or not, just leave that impression still, because you don't know who they might know. So yeah, let's get back to this job thing. You can go for the job interview. Let's say me and you apply. You're much better at this job than me. But no one knows you. And the owner of the company knows me because they met me at a bar. Obviously, they called me in for the interview, so I am qualified. But you're just better. But how will they know you're better? They don't know you. They're going to hire me because they already like me. You might have been better for the specific job, But they know that I can do the job, and they know they're going to enjoy having me as an employee, and I'll be good in the workplace because they know me. So boom, I get the job even though you're better at it because I network. That same thing goes for other services and stuff, like posting on Facebook. You post your business on Facebook, you get 5 likes. I post mine on Facebook, I get 20 likes. It's the same exact business. Maybe your content even looks better than mine. But shit, 15 more people know me. 15 more people know me more than they know you. So I get 20 likes, and you get 5 likes. And then you see that I get 20 likes, and you complain, oh, he's popular. My work looks better. My product is better. But he's popular, so he gets more likes. Yeah, duh. It's about a balance, because you don't want to be popular with a shit product. You can get it to sell, but I mean, you probably won't get much return sales, return customers. But then you can have the best product in the world, but no one knows about you. So how are people going to buy your product and they don't even know about you or your product in the first place? So yeah, balance it out. Become popular, become well known. I'm not saying become well known on like social media, for example, but become popular or well known to people who might matter. Because the government officials aren't necessarily liking my post on Facebook, if you catch what I'm saying. The people that I meet at these bars and stuff, I have them as friends on Facebook, but they're not kids. They're not scrolling on Facebook every 5 minutes and just liking and laughing and reacting to stuff. But really and truly, it is a lot of hard work being popular. I'm not even very popular. I'd say I'm somewhat known. I leave my house and people that I don't know are hailing me. They call me by my name. So I'm somewhat known. I get decent engagement on my social medias. For the size of my social medias, I actually get really good engagement for the size. Brands hit me up if you're looking for deals, sponsor this podcast. But you know, it's what I'm really tired about hearing, and I'm hearing it a lot. I mean, I've heard it all my life, but I'm hearing people complain so much, especially since the pandemic. But all you guys do is complain. Make shit happen. It's not going to come to you. And it's not a bad thing for getting an opportunity because you know someone. Do some networking. Establish good relationships with people. Leave good, everlasting impressions on the people you meet. It can only benefit you. It can only benefit you. Stop complaining that you can't get anything done or you can't get anything for yourself, but this other person who's popular is getting it just because they're popular. And even though you can do the work too, you're not getting it. It's because no one knows you. You might be able to do the work, but no one knows you. A tree that falls in a forest, an empty forest that there's no one at, still makes a sound, but we don't know that it made the sound. We didn't even know it fell because we're not there. Same thing applies to you. We don't know what you can do because we don't know you. Make yourself be known. Back in the day, everybody had business cards. You don't even need a business card right now. Just have a digital design on your phone. Most people have iPhones. Airdrop that sucker over to the person that you meet. Boom, they have your contact information. Everybody got WhatsApp. Everybody got, well, not everybody because Android people don't have iMessage, but you catch my drift. Everybody got Facebook or Twitter. Something. Even if you don't have your phone on you at the moment, bro, find a piece of paper and a pen and write that person's contact information down. Somehow, some way. but get out there. Put yourself out there. Become known. And it's work. It's not easy. Like I said, it's not easy at all, or else everyone would be doing it. But nothing easy is worth having, technically. That's a saying that I say a lot. I've been saying this a lot too recently. You probably heard this on some recent podcasts, just about almost every episode. But being broke is hard. Making money is hard. Pick a hard, bro. And that's where I'm going to leave you guys off on this podcast. I'm not going to make it too long of me just ranting. Hopefully someone listening to this picked up some sort of useful information. And please share it. Share this information with other people. Don't be lazy, guys. Don't be lazy. And stop expecting handouts just because you're offering a product. No one's entitled to buy your product or your service or whatever. You're not entitled to anything. And stop watching what other people doing and just sitting home and complain. If you can watch what other people doing, at least take notes and start. If they're successful doing it, maybe take notes and try to do it yourself. I don't want to call y'all haters, but y'all sounding real haterish, to be honest. Anyways, guys, I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. And of course, I hope you could take away some sort of information from this episode. And don't forget to share it with everybody else. If you're listening to this on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, whatever platform you're using, please subscribe to the podcast so you get the updates on every episode every Monday. I will try my best to make sure the next episode actually comes out on Monday. And please do me a big favor and rate the podcast. Leave 5 stars, please. I mean, be honest. If you think this podcast is worth 2 stars, then give it 2 stars. But please, for me, I'd like 5 stars across the board. Anyways, for those of you still listening, Anegada is having something called the Lobster Dine Out in place of Lobster Fest this year. Same weekend as it usually is, last weekend in November, so it should be the 28th and 29th, I think. I'm also throwing a party on the 28th. It's called Not a Party, because it's a party, but it's not a party. It'll have free beers and mixed drinks on sale. Free beers while supplies last, I should say. There's lots of other deals and lots of stuff to do, lots of food to eat. There's $40 horseback riding at Francis Family Farm. By the way, this isn't sponsored. I'm just giving a shout out because I think people are tired of doing nothing, and Anegada has some stuff going on. So you guys just come out. There's ferry specials for like $35 a ticket round trip, as opposed to the regular $50 round trip tickets that is every other time of the year. So yeah, guys, come out and have some fun. And I'll see you next Monday.